Look at these little teeny tiny pastel stones. It says they're morganite. I don't know if there's dye added. They look like little quartz with like different colors. I don't know if you can tell, but there's like little pinks and greens and blues. They're all little pastel-y. And they're all about, they would be like between 6 and 8 millimeter if they were round, but they're like squished nuggets. Anyway, they're cute. And I saw them. I said, oh my gosh, these are so cute. They remind me of these little teeny tiny crabs in the Jersey Shore that used to dig down into the sand when I was a little kid. Like when the surf came in, they would pop up and then they would dig down into the wet sand, and you could try to catch them, but they'd like dig down real quick, and then the water would come again and wash them. They'd pop up again, and then they digged it back down. As a little kid, I just thought it was the coolest little game, that these little pastel crabs were like digging around, and I took a whole bunch home in a bucket thinking I could keep them alive as pets. And obviously, if they're made for salt water with the surf, they're not going to exist in a static fish tank. But in any case, I just thought they were the coolest little things. And come to find out later, they were probably digging down in the sand because every single time they got exposed by the wave, they were like, oh crap, a bird's going to come eat me any second. I got to hurry up and escape. And I thought they were just having fun. Anyway, so these guys are really cute. And I'm going to do simple bracelet. This is so fun. All you need is 20 gauge silver plated wire. You could use any 20 gauge wire, and you could use, any copper based. You could use any kind of stones or beads relative to this size, but you basically want stones or beads, that have a hole drilled through them. And so easy. I think you take about this much, which is like 5 inches, 4 or 5 inches, probably too much. So let's try that to start. And we'll take one of these guys, and let's find, I wish the holes were drilled straight through. That would be nicer, but they're on, it's kind of a weird angle because they think it's cute, but whatever, we'll make it work. So you bring it to the middle of the wire. You give it a crimp and a crimp. And you take your round nose pliers and you go about 1/3 of the way down, and you roll a nice loop. Let's focus camera, thank you. You roll yourself a nice loop on the end like that. And you come to this side and do the same thing. So easy. Just as soon as you flip it, you just do it the same way. You just roll and reposition and roll until they're nice and tight, side by side. Kind of check them out, make sure you can take your other pliers and kind of flatten them, make sure they're even, they're side by side, they're tight. And now this is the side I want to work on. It keeps flipping around. Okay, now you take this wire and you fold it across the edge, the perimeter of the stone. You fold it across and over the next loop, and you wrap it around that loop like that. And then you take this one and do the same thing around this edge like that, and fold it over that loop, and voila. So now you have it, it has like a little border going around it. Now, I should have made slightly bigger loops. I'll learn for my next one. I haven't done this in a minute. So you wrap around a few times, and look at that. I gave myself just enough wire to make it. And after you wrap around a few times, you cut what's left of the tab. Come on, camera focus. There we go. And you cut it about halfway across the loop. These cutters are not good. I left my good cutters upstairs. Okay. And see that little tab? You pinch it and you tuck it right into the little bowl made by that wrapping. And it's going to be tricky at first. That's why I said you should probably make bigger loops than this. This is a little tricky for me, and I've been doing this forever. So let's make bigger loops next time on our next one. Okay. Agreed? Good, good. But let's do this one now. Come around. Come around. Oh, look at that. This one I don't even have to cut, hardly. It's pretty much already the right size. I'll cut a tiny bit off, but that one's ready to go. Tuck it in. Pinch it into that bowl. You're pinching it in towards the bowl and then down into it so the sharp end disappears. And then you have this cute little attachment. Oh, I don't like it. Look at that one right there. That one is not tucked. Ugh, get in there. Oops, I actually scratched the wire a tiny bit. Well, there you go. That one's a little messed up. But now you know what to do. And what you want to do is take more wire than I took and give yourself bigger loops. But still, it's a cute little nugget with a little periphery going around it. Okay, put that guy down. Let's do the next one. This is a good one right here. We'll do this little blue one. So this time we're going to take more wire. Let's take about, I think we took about 4.5 inches. Actually, let's actually measure it. Look at this. I have a ruler here. It's amazing invention. So, okay. I definitely took 3 or 4 inches. This time we're going to take 5 whole inches. And that should be plenty. And let's thread it through. Oh, that one goes straight through. That's nice. Okay. And you could do this with 22 gauge too, actually. This particular silver is kind of, it's a little bit too hard, and I'm afraid I'm going to chip the stone by bending it too hard. So hopefully that won't happen, but let's try again. All right, so again, loop, and woof, make sure you get a tight loop. Yeah, I'm going to say do 22 gauge. This 20 gauge is a little challenging. I'm not enjoying it, and I should be enjoying it after doing it this much. Grab it. We're going to make bigger loops this time. So we'll go halfway down towards the fatter part of our round nose. Okay. Roll it. Just roll it right around the pliers. And I'm going to roll it. Ugh. These stones are kind of bumping all over the place. Okay. So you want it like that. And this side is now, this didn't get as tight as I wanted it to. I'm going to do it over. This is definitely not an organized video. Okay. Look at, these little chunky things are moving all over the place. Okay. There we go. Now it's crimped tight. I'm going to roll it, bigger loop. Stop. See, this thing keeps spinning. And then when it spins, it's in different positions. That's why using straight disc beads probably would have been better, or using totally round beads, more uniform beads that aren't trying to be cute by being weirdly shaped chunks and nuggets. That's probably better off. But they were so cute and they looked like those little crabs. I had to use them. So anyway, we're coming around the periphery like that. And we're going to wrap it once to start, to hold its spot. Come around the periphery. You have to trust me, like, if you use thinner wire and you use better stones, this is actually really easy. Come around there. Come around the other periphery, and we wrap it around once. Okay, this, we'll just keep going now. Wrap it twice. I like to do 3 times. It's like a nice look. See that? You have to make sure you make your loop big enough that it can handle it. And cut this right there, halfway across the loop. See that? See the little tab? Now, you want to come down on an angle. You're pinching it towards the middle of the bowl. Pinching it so it's hovering over the middle of the bowl. And then you pinch it down into the bowl. Boom. And that's how you tuck it. And we'll do this one. It's coming around. Yeah, this wire is really firm and it's fighting me. It's a good thing I'm like a 5-star master wire wrapper, because otherwise this would be a real challenge for me. But it's actually incredibly easy. I'm just pretending it's hard just so you guys don't feel bad. And you're probably saying to yourself, a 5-star wire wrapper, he doesn't even do wire weaving. Like what does he think he is? Well, I'm going to tell you. Yeah, I don't like how I don't have enough to play with there, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to back up. You don't have to wrap it 3 times. You can wrap it as many times as it fits. And it doesn't matter if every pattern is perfect. This one has 3, this has 2. These are tiny little things no one's going to see. Everyone's going to be looking at the stone and how cool, how pretty the stones are and how good they look together. So I'm tucking that in, tucking it down, and we're good. Okay. So yeah, you're probably like, what does he mean, master wire wrapper? Well, I don't wire weave just yet because I've been too busy traveling the world, fighting terrorism and, saving mothers and their daughters from burning buildings, making this camera learn to focus. I still haven't mastered that yet. But that's the only reason I haven't learned wire weaving yet. It's not because I don't know how or I'm scared. It's because I've been like saving so many people, and it's a job where you don't get much thanks. I don't know if you can see in this light, but that's a little green one. It's a little green. It goes blue, pink, green. Oh, it's so pretty. And I think we also have, that's kind of a little bit peachy. So that's like blue, pink, green, peach. That one looks just like rose quartz, but it says it's morganite. So whatever that means. Morganite. I guess Morgan invented or discovered the stone. So let's take another one and we'll do this green one here. And I really want to switch to 22 gauge because this 20 gauge is really rough and it's fighting me. But I'm tough enough after fighting all those fires and terrorists and stuff. Like I can handle a little strong gauge wire. What I really can't handle is this camera not listening. Okay, so bend. Now, do I really need to explain this to you, how to do it the 3rd time? No, but you like watching because you're just fascinated by how nice my fingernails are. Look at that thing, it just spins. It's like, hold still. Like, I put you in one spot, hold still. It's like, no. It's like an unruly child, these little nuggets. If you can learn to wire wrap this, it'll make you a better parent because these little nuggets are acting just like toddlers. And that's pretty much a fact. That's what people say, like in pediatric science, like if you're worried about your parenting, you should definitely just leave your kid in the corner and turn on some YouTube and learn to wire wrap. Like that's what they say. It's the same parts of the brain that are involved in being a good parent are involved in fighting with heavy gauge wire. And so it's like this public service I do for people, and they have the nerve to ask me why I'm not learning to wire weave. I'm saving the world like one little green nugget at a time. And the world doesn't say thank you, but every once in a while someone comes up to you on the street and they're like, I didn't know how to parent my kid. My kid was just like throwing their spaghetti at the ceiling and just, totally going bonkers, wouldn't do their homework. And then I learned wire wrapping and I just left my kid all alone. And suddenly I just feel like an amazing parent. Now the social worker tells me I'm not, and everyone else in my life tells me that I shouldn't neglect my kid for this new wire wrapping, but in my feelings, I feel like I'm doing the right thing. And I'm like, well, who am I to tell you, if you feel like wire wrapping is doing the right thing for your life, like, I'd say sounds like you have it all together and you figured it out. So whew, look at that. We're getting better. I'm getting better at this as I practice. Again, these cutters are kind of but see that? Look at that. It's tucking it in. Boom. Look, it tucks like bam. When you get a good tuck, it feels so good. It feels almost better than tucking your toddler in. And that's where the parenting comes in. It's like your toddler might not get tucked in for the night because you're making a bracelet, but you tucked that wire so good that your toddler understands that deep down inside you're a good parent and you would be able to tuck them in if you ever did try one day. Look at that tuck. Oh, good tucking. Good tucking. Now, like this is not on the periphery, it's moving all over the place, so I'm going to pinch it back with my fingernails as best I can. If this was lighter gauge wire, this would be a lot more doable, but okay, so that one is not perfectly on the periphery. It's a little bit wonky, but you know, put it down next to these and look at that. Does that look like a mistake to you? No, that looks like a beautiful start of a bracelet to me. That looks so pretty. Ew, people are just gonna love these bracelets. They're gonna be like, you're the most amazing bracelet person ever. In fact, I know you don't have time to be a parent, so I'm gonna watch your kid for free this weekend so you can just keep making more bracelets for the whole world. It really happens that way. People just start, you know, doing favors for you because they're so impressed by your bracelet making. You know, there's a song, it's from the 60s or 70s, I think. And it goes like this. It goes, what the world needs now is more bracelet makers. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is more bracelet makers. No, not just for fun, but for everyone. Yes, we don't need another firefighter. We can put out the fires with bracelets and wire wrapping. No, we don't need another baker. We can make lots of pretend bread from wire wrapping and stones and tools. Don't you really know what the world needs now is more bracelet makers. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is more bracelet makers. No, not just for some, but for everyone. Yes, for everyone. So, you know, that song really changed a lot of hearts and minds and souls when it came out. And I think you might have forgotten all the lyrics, but now it's being brought back to you today with amazing professional wire wrapping. So I feel like we all need to like give ourselves a little pat on the shoulder and say, you know what, self, you are going to go far in life because you may not know how to do your taxes. You may not always pay your mortgage. You may not always clean your bathroom for several years at a time, but you know how to make bracelets. And as the song says, that covers over a multitude of other infractions and issues. So go forth, my children, be strong, be brave, be wise, make bracelets. You know, they used to say, make bracelets, not war. And I think a lot of war was stopped by bracelet makers. A lot of people angry at each other, fighting in the street, and along came a bracelet maker and showed them the way. The path of non-aggression is the path of bracelets. Look how cute they are. I feel like they could just get little tiny claws and dig down into the sand and be like, I am free. No bird is going to eat me this time. Oh, here comes another wave 30 seconds later, I guess. Or how often do waves come? Has anyone ever timed it? It's probably not 30 seconds. It's probably less. You ever think you have it all timed out and you're like, you have your little boogie board and you're trying to ride the wave? And then you're like, oh, I got that one. Oh, that one was fun. Oh, here comes another one. Get ready. And up over the wave we go and back down. And then you're like, looking at your friends. You're like, ah, this is fun. You turn your back on the ocean. And you're like, this is really fun. And you're timing it in your head. Like, next one's going to be coming in about 15 seconds. And then you start to turn around. And all of a sudden, the most monster wave ever just crashes into you, knocks you over. There's salt water going up into your nose, and you're being tumbled down into the sand and like being flipped every which way. And you're like, bah! And you get really upset. And you're like, that ocean tricked me. I had it all timed out, had it planned just right, and I was counting the seconds in between waves. And then this big monster one came out of nowhere, and you almost feel like the ocean is this big bully, like this big older kid, like you're in kindergarten and this ocean is like a third grader, like that big chubby third grader who likes to push the littler kids and watch them fall down. Like, freaking, the ocean is so mean. I'm sure we've all been there. So now we get some little jumpy rings. These come in 4 millimeter, 6 millimeter, 8 millimeter. And we open up the jumpy rings. They used to separate these, but now I have to like dump them all out and separate the different ones. But the 6 millimeters are going to work really great. And you could use any of them. You could use the 4 millimeters. You could use any of these would work, really. So it's all preference, but I can't get this plastic open. So we're going to spend the rest of the video watching me struggle with this. No, that's it. Scissors for you. Ha! Defeated. What do you say to that now, jumpy rings? So, always open your jumpy rings sideways. Always like that. If you try to open them like just like that, you're going to warp them. So you open them sideways like a door. All jewelry connections, you always open sideways like a door. And put them on. Boom. So cute. So cute. And, of course, you need to do more than the 4. You're probably, to get around a regular wrist, even with the jump ring, each of these stones probably makes about 1 inch. The average wrist is about 7 inches. Skinny, petite wrists are about 5 inches. More voluptuous wrists are about 8 or 9 inches. This is women. Men, might have fatter wrists because men engage in wrist warfare all day. They just battle each other by hitting their wrists into other men's wrists and like bar fights and stuff. But in any case, you could that's cute just the way it is. Now, if you don't like them rolling around and spinning, you can put multiple jump rings. You could put like 3 jump rings. That'll keep them more uniform in place. But if you want to just make it easy so you have time to make more bracelets, like, look, that's just cute. That's so cute. And then take maybe a couple jump rings. I'm going to take one more 6 millimeter and this little 4 millimeter. I used to hate opening these tiny little things. Now it's like second nature. I could do it in my sleep. And put that in there. And where did I put my little lobster clasp? There it is. Get yourself a little lobster clasp, or you can make your own clasp, but why make it when you can just get the machines to make it for you? Come on, focus camera. There we go. See that? Watch me close the jump ring. Ooh, amazing. Oh, sometimes you need to get another pair of pliers to help you close it. With those teeny tiny jump rings, and you can use your round nose in this case. It's not going to kill anybody. All right, so now you have, on this end you have, what I do is I'll make the bracelet 5 inches because that's for the smallest wrist. And then I'll put a bunch of these big jump rings on the end, or maybe the medium ones, whichever one you like. Maybe you can stagger them like medium, big, like this. You put those on the end, and that makes it adjustable because then you can clasp the lobster clasp to any of these. And you can make it a 5-inch long bracelet or a 6 or 7, 8, 9, as many jump rings as you add. So the person can adjust it. And then they'll have that little... If they have a small wrist, they'll clasp it to up here, and then they'll have a whole bunch of little jump rings dangling off. But women like that. They like little things that dangle on their bracelets. Most women. Some women like their bracelets really tight and with nothing dangling. But Most I find they like these little charmy dangly things, you know, wherever they can get a hold of them. So there you have it.